Hi SQL folks, welcome to another tutorial from SQL Maestros. Before I start off today's content, let's just talk about a few things. First, visit sqlmaestros.com. There is a lot of SQL Server content out there. Especially visit the video lobby. There is a free video lobby and there is a video lobby with premium content. You can also check out the recorded webinar section. Each week we do one webinar and the recording goes up there. You can also check out the free event section. Again, you can register for upcoming webinars. You can attend them live and get access to the recordings as well. Also check out the masterclass recordings, the video courses, and most importantly, our live masterclass, which is coming up in a few weeks' time. You know, our popular course, the SQL Server Internals Troubleshooting and Performance Tuning, 40 hours of deep dive content. Okay, all of that is on sqlmaestros.com. The second thing is, lately I have resumed delivering online classes. The same masterclass is being delivered for a group of people. If you are someone who wants this performance tuning class for your team members, like for your company, you can always drop an email to contact@sqlmaestros.com. Last but not the least, if your SQL Server is facing an issue and you want me to come online and just fix the performance issue that you are being plagued with, drop an email to contact@sqlmaestros.com. No fluff here. We simply come online, run our scripts, identify the root cause of a performance issue, we fix it. You're happy, we are happy, we go away. Okay, all that is up there. Check out sqlmaestros.com. All right, friends, the links to many of these things are there in the description. Today, we are going to talk about unused indexes. Now, in the last few weeks, you would have seen I have recorded a couple of videos. Some videos are available in our free public list here on this one, and some of them are available in the members only list, which is for our premium members. You can even become a premium member on sqlmaestros.com. So explore all those options. Rarely will you find a SQL Server deployment that does not have an opportunity with indexes. 4 specific things, right? Unused indexes, missing indexes, redundant indexes, and opportunities for index consolidation. I mean, whichever order, these are the 4 things that I have been talking about, and there are all these videos around. So whether you are on sqlmaestros.com or on our YouTube channel, search on these keywords: missing indexes, redundant indexes, unused indexes, and index consolidation. This is about unused indexes. Okay, what is meant by unused indexes? Over a period of time, there are a lot of indexes that have been created by XYZ people, and they are inside your environment. They are inside your database, but they're not being used by the queries. Probably those indexes were created by DBAs, developers, whoever was managing the production at that point of time. Maybe SQL Server gave a lot of missing index recommendations and they were randomly created. They might have been used at some point. Now those queries, workloads, or reports are not running, but the indexes are just lying there. In many cases, there are all these redundant indexes that are seldom used. They're just lying there, consuming disk space, consuming CPU cycles as part of the maintenance cost. You got to get rid of them. And updates go slower. Imagine a lot of non-clustered indexes, those unused ones. Whenever you are firing an update query, and if those indexes have to be updated, the update query, the modification queries go slower because all those indexes have to be updated. All right, so we got to get rid of these unused indexes. So I have created a simple academic prototype to just kind of explain you how you can identify that a specific index is not being used or is being used very sparingly. So you could decide to remove them after careful observation, especially when you have like an always on availability group setup. So just be careful that, okay, you have the primary server and the secondary server. There is an index on primary and now that is being replicated on the secondary. So maybe the index is being used on the secondary servers. You got to go and review those things. I'm sure all of you are smart enough to look around those things. Okay, let's get started. We are using AdventureWorks 2016 for the purpose of demo, like we do so many times. I'm going to play around with this table person.person. By this time, you know that this is one of my favorite tables. It has all these simple attributes and that helps me with the demos. We are going to play around with these attributes like person type, first name, middle name and last name, email promotion and whatnot. Okay, straightforward table. I have this script here, the stored procedure, tell me unused indexes. Okay, this stored procedure is part of our health check scripts. So let's just go and execute this. Oh, can't find the stored procedure. So let me do one thing. Let me go ahead and create this stored procedure first. Where is that stored procedure? There you go. So I'm just going to quickly create the stored procedure. Job done. Now let's go up. So let's ask SQL Server once more, tell me unused indexes. There you go. And of course, you could create a parameterized version, which is what we have. This is a simple academic version where I'm going to scroll down and look at person.person. Now, these are the default indexes that come with the AdventureWorks database for this table person.person. So I'm not going to really bother about these. You got to look at these attributes like seeks, scans, lookups, and the total reads out there. So the reads is nothing but a sum of all seeks, scans, and lookups. These attributes are important. Seeking. So whenever you have a non-clustered index, you really want that index to be used in seek operation. So that's a straightforward seek operation. Whenever the index is being scanned, it's a scan operation. And whenever there is a lookup happening, which is like a RID lookup or a key lookup, it shows up there. And the reads attribute just gives you a total number. Like for example, you have 1 scan and 3 lookup operations, which gives you a total number of 4. So you got to now look at these numbers, and remember all this is coming from index usage stats. That's the DMV, dynamic management view. You may want to take a note of it. Index usage stats, and you know that these DMVs do get reset when SQL Server gets restarted or databases are coming online, offline, and whatnot. So of course, just check out the documentation. So you got to probably persist some of this data if you want to really go back into the history and look around these numbers. Okay, now I am going to create 2 indexes here, IDX1 and IDX2. You will notice that in these 2 indexes, the index key is last name for both of them. However, their included columns are slightly different. So in IDX1, you have first name and email promotion. And in the second one, you have first name and person type. So the only difference between IDX1 and IDX2, these 2 indexes, is these 2 attributes, the differentiating factor. One of them has email promotion, the other one has person type. That's pretty much it. Let's go and create these 2 indexes. Job done. Now let's go and ask SQL Server, okay, tell me unused indexes, and scroll down. Now these 2 indexes should show up. So you have IDX1 and IDX2. If you look at their seek, scans, reads, everything is all null there, brand new indexes. Now let's turn on the actual execution plan. Here is the first query. Give me last name, first name, and email promotion, where person.person last name is equal to Duffy. Now, if you look at the query here, last name, first name, and email promotion, you are wanting 3 attributes, and you have your predicate on last name. This query can easily be satisfied by this index, IDX1. So there is an index on last name, which is the index key that helps with the seeking thing. And for the other 2 attributes, first name and email promotion, you just want them for the purpose of retrieval. So that's there in the index. So probably IDX1 should be used. Looks good. Let's go and execute this and jump over to the execution plan, and you will see, yes, SQL Server does use IDX1. It did not go to the base table, not required, because all the data that the query needs is available in IDX1. Perfect. Okay, let's ask SQL Server, tell me unused indexes. Now you will see IDX1 has a count up there. Okay, so let's scroll down to person.person and let's look at this IDX1. And you can see in seek here, you have 1. And the total number of reads also goes as 1. So this is what you can observe. Okay, one seek operation is what we have done. This is what these metrics here really mean. How many seeks, how many scans, how many lookups, etc. And then total number which comes in read, which means how many times the index was touched overall. Okay, good with IDX1. We changed the query a bit. Imagine this is another report where you want last name, first name, etc. And instead of email promotion, now you want person type. Now, I don't need to really scroll up. You know that the other index, IDX2, has person type in included section. The predicate is again on last name. This should be helped by the second index, which is IDX2. Let's go and execute this. Go over to the execution plan, and yes, as expected, you have IDX2 being used. Now, you can expect what the output would be like. Sorry, I clicked on new query. Let's go and execute this and scroll down. Let's look at person.person and let's look at IDX2 now. Again, similar output. You have a number for IDX2, which is what was expected. All good. Now let's create a third index, IDX3. Now look at the tricky thing here. What I've done here is the index is again on last name, and we are including first name, email promotion, and person type. So what I have done essentially here is I've just kind of done some kind of index consolidation, which is I kind of see that, okay, there are two indexes, IDX1 and IDX2, that are similar in nature. I mean, similar schema. There's only one attribute that is the differentiating factor. I kind of merged them and create this new index IDX3 and just included all the columns that were required. One index doing the job of two. That's the idea. IDX3. Let's go and execute this. Okay, let's go and tell me unused indexes. Okay, we know this. IDX3 is going to have all nulls at this point because we haven't run any workload right now. So you can see all null out there. Okay, now what? Let's go back and run this first query, which is our first query. Okay, here, the email promotion one. What do you think? If I run this query now, we have two indexes that could really help this query. IDX1 and IDX3. Remember, this is about email promotion. Let's go and execute this one. Jump over to the execution plan and you will see that optimizer is pretty smart. It chooses IDX3. It does not choose IDX1. Okay, let's go and take the second one, this one. What do you think will the optimizer do? Will it choose IDX2 or IDX3? Person type. Now there are two indexes that have person type in their included section, and the optimizer is smart enough. Again, it chooses IDX3. Okay, which means if I run this a couple of times, like, okay, the workload is coming back and again, the reports are running back and again, and including this one coming back and again, multiple executions, and each time IDX3 is being used. Now I go and ask SQL Server, okay, give me unused indexes. Let's go and execute this and scroll down and let's look at person.person. And here we go. IDX3 is being used so actively now all the time. This is an important thing to note. But if you now look at IDX1 and IDX2, they're kind of redundant now. So they became redundant because we consolidated indexes and we created a third one that kind of turned out to be more meaningful, and we made IDX1 and IDX2 redundant. We made them redundant so they land up being unused. Now what are we trying to do with this query? With this script, we are able to identify all those unused indexes, and now with a bit of more observation, monitoring, and careful consideration, you can disable, maybe disabling is a good way to kind of begin. You may disable these two indexes, IDX1 and 2, and after some time, you can drop them completely. If you're persisting this data, or even after you restart SQL Server and you're monitoring now, all these will be nulls and the workloads are running for some time. So you will see IDX3 is being used continuously, and you will see 0 numbers for IDX1 and 2. And that is where you will probably decide, okay, I'm done with IDX1 and 2 and I can drop them. Okay, so this is how you are kind of identifying unused indexes. They might be, they are being unused. They're not being used for many different reasons, right? Maybe the workload that they were helping with is completely gone and the index is no more required. Or maybe a better index exists now and that is being made redundant. Like what we did, we implemented index consolidation and we made them redundant, resulting in they being unused. So there could be different reasons why and how they are being unused. All you need to do is identify the unused indexes, make sure that they're really being unused, and just remove them. Now we can safely remove IDX 1 and 2. Okay, so you are dropping this one and you are dropping this one. That's my cleanup for the tutorial and for the video. All right, friends, hope you have enjoyed this video and this tutorial. Remember, make sure to check out the channel, or if you're watching this on SQLmaestros.com, search on these other keywords so that you can learn a lot about index analysis. Missing indexes, unused indexes, redundant indexes, and index consolidation. A lot of opportunities out there. And do not forget to visit SQLmaestros.com, especially check out the upcoming class. If you want a deep dive performance tuning training for your team members, for a group of people, drop an email to contact@SQLmaestros.com. Someone from our team will revert back to you. Check out the premium membership on SQLmaestros.com, which is an annual membership. Each time you subscribe to a webinar, you're paying some dollars, a very little amount for the paid webinars. It's better you take up the annual premium membership so that you get all the webinars and all the paid videos as part of that premium membership. It's just more financially viable and cost effective. And yes, if you're looking for a consultant who can come online and fix SQL Server performance issues for you, drop an email again at contact@SQLmaestros.com. All right, with this, I bid you goodbye for today's video, and I'm going to see you soon again in another video. Happy SQL!